Namaste. Welcome to your yoga practice, your sadhana, your spiritual life journey. Today we're going to be looking at the different layers of the physical body, the main layers that we'll be covering over the next couple of weeks. As we've learned in previous lessons, we are not just physical bodies, but we are a complex matrix of layers upon layers of consciousness. And these layers manifest in many different ways, as our breath, as our thoughts, our emotions, and, of course, as our physical body. So over the next couple of courses, we're going to look at the different layers within the physical body, within the layer of the physical body. And we're looking at it in terms of the myofascia, the fascia that holds the body together. And we're going to be looking today at how we can find, not just illuminate or become aware of these different layers within the physical body, within the physical layer of the body, but also how can we bring them into balance? How can we start bringing those layers into balance? So to put it in more concrete terms, in our physical body, we have habit patterns, we have patterns of movement that either help bring our body into balance or help take us away from balance. So if you think of the way that you sit when you're sitting at work, or maybe even the way that you're sitting right now, you can see, are you leaning forward? Are you leaning more back? Are you in the center? Are you slouching to one side? Are you slouching to the other side? Are you kind of twisting while you're watching this? Maybe you have the computer or the TV on one side and you're turning your head, and that means that you're in a kind of a twist. Or are you looking at me straight ahead? So there's no right or wrong answer here. It's really about, are you aware of it? Are you aware of the ways in which you are drawing yourself out of balance? And are you aware of the ways that you're drawing, of the practices that you do that bring you back into balance? Because it's great to know how to bring yourself back into balance, but if you're not even aware of when you're out of balance, then you won't be able to apply those tools. So today we're going to be just simply observing what our tendencies are on the different sides of the body. More specifically, we're going to be looking at three main lines, which are associated with three main actions, three main types of poses that we do in the yoga practice. The first is we're going to be looking at the front line. We're going to be looking at the front of the body. The front of the body that goes from the top of the feet all the way up to the neck is responsible for, it stretches when we do back bends. Right? So if I do a back bend, I'm going to be stretching the front of my body from my feet all the way up to my neck. Conversely, we're also going to be looking at the back line. So the back of the body that goes from the sole of the feet all the way up the back of the legs into the buttocks, into the sacrum, all the way up through the back of the up into the head, around the back of the skull, and latches on all the way to the forehead, just above the nose. So we're going to be looking at that line. And that line is activated, is stretched when we're doing forward bends. The third line that we're going to be looking at is the side line, or in Tom Meyer's anatomy trains, he talks about it as the lateral line. So and that goes from the outside of the feet all the way up the sides of the legs, all the way up the side of the body, crisscrosses in the ribs, on the side of the ribs, and continues all the way up into the back and front of the neck. Okay? So on each side, that is. And those poses are like side bending poses, lateral poses, where we're side bending, or maybe we're doing like a stretch like this, Parshva Konasana, all of those side bending where we're leaning to the one side, that is going to stretch that one. So we're going to be looking at these three lines and observing how they function in our practice and how we can bring greater awareness to these lines as we practice in the next couple weeks. And then not only how can we bring more awareness to them and our the habits that we have in these different lines, but also how can we kind of balance them out with one another. So take a comfortable seat, close your eyes, and let's begin. Take a few breaths. Lengthen through the sides of the body from your hips, stretching all the way up into the armpits. But at the same time, as you lengthen the side of the body, make sure you're lengthening also the tailbone down as you lift the chest up. With your palms together in front of your heart. Let's open the practice with 3 sounds of Om. Inhale. Release your hands and open your eyes. Please come to all fours. So it's important to know that everybody has different imbalances. You know, we all hold ourselves differently. We all have our own patterns and habits. So just start becoming aware of first the position of your body and just how you feel, and without necessarily looking for something to fix, just start in a space where you just feel comfortable in your skin. So lengthen the sides of your body and bring your wrist underneath your shoulders. Spread your fingers and just root down through your finger pads and kind of get settled in here. Get settled in and observe the beauty of breathing. Just that beauty of breathing. Sometimes we, balance is, we can talk about balance in terms of bringing the body back into alignment, but sometimes balance can simply be coming back to your breath. So just notice the beauty of the breath. The balance that is achieved just by breathing and observing our breath. And it's from there that we then can open up the inner body and start moving into cat and cow and start becoming a little bit more curious, more and more curious. So you can just start to move in a way that feels good as you arch the back and round the back. Move in a way that feels good. And then start taking a deeper look at what is really happening. When you round the back, where are you rounding the back? Is it just in one place, or is it the whole spine that's rounding? When you're arching the back, when the spine dips down, are you arching all the way into the upper back and the lower back, or is it just one place? So it's possible that a lot of the parts of your body, you might not even be aware. You might think that your back is round or arched, and it's really not. So this is why it's important to go to class. It's important to go to class and make sure that your teacher is keeping a good eye on you and is able to highlight for you the different, areas that you might consider working on. Because sometimes when we're practicing by ourselves without a teacher, so much goes missed. It's like in our blind spot. Right? And then tuck your toes and sit on your heels and for a toe stretch. So if this is difficult, you can sit up on a blanket or put a block underneath your buttocks. So one of the things I remember when I went for some body work, and the therapist, the body worker, she was telling me that my chin was very close to my chest. And I noticed that when I look at people, I often look at people at their lips. You know, I don't look at people in their eyes. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because of my height, because I'm 5'2", and most people are taller than me, and I just like looking in their eyes is like way up there. So I don't know what it is, or if it's an insecurity thing. I mean, whatever, we can go into a whole detail of psychoanalysis of it. But I was very surprised when she told me that if your feet are tired, relax and then come back, okay? So this is really good for stretching the feet and starting to open up those lines, those three main lines that are in the body. So when she told me that my chin was close to my chest, I was like, what? I didn't understand. And then she told me to lift up my chin, and I was like, whoa, like I feel like I'm like this, you know? I feel like I'm lifting up really high. But then when I actually looked at myself in the mirror, my chin was level to the floor. And I was like, wow, that's true. My chin was down, and I never knew it. So there's sometimes different patterns in the body, like, you know, that I'll say, and you'll be like, yeah, I'm doing it. And then you look at yourself in the mirror and you realize, whoa, no, it's not happening the way that I thought it was happening. It was like your mind tricked you. So that's why it's good to have a teacher or somewhere, a body worker, to really kind of let you know what's going on in your body, and then work on the things that they're telling you to work on. Good. Okay, so your feet are good now. I was trying to distract you there. So come back onto all fours. Stretch your right leg out now that the toes are nice and tucked under and nice and stretched. Lengthen the spine. Press down through your fingers, and then move your foot over to the left. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body, and then look over your left shoulder. And here we're stretching the side line. Remember the side line, the lateral line that goes from your outer ankle all the way up into your right side of your neck. So see if you can feel that whole line. Now you might feel the back of your thigh or the front of your thigh, but really start to feel and notice the sensations on the outside of your leg, from your ankle all the way up into the side of your ribs, all the way up into the right side of your neck. Good, come back to center. And then second side, left leg back and over to the right. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. And then exhale, gaze behind you slightly. Keep the sides of your body long. Lift and tone your lower belly. And feel here the left side of your body as you breathe. From your left arch and ankle all the way out, up the outside of your leg, into the outer hip, the outer waist, the outer ribs, up into the left side of your neck. That whole line connected from the head down to the foot. Good. And then come back to center. Walk your knees back, press your fingers down, downward facing dog. Take a few breaths here. Press the thighs back. And then inhale, come forward into plank. Make sure that your distance between your hands and your feet was correct. So the wrists underneath the shoulders, directly underneath the shoulders. And lengthen the spine. Again, this is another one where it helps to have a teacher to watch you. But if you have a mirror nearby, you might want to check it out and just make sure that your back is, that you're not sticking your butt up like this. Sometimes we do this and we think that we're straight. So come here, work the muscles that have been kind of slacking off, and then keep your hands and your feet where they are, and press back into downward facing dog. Again, balance takes work. There's this illusion that when we practice yoga that we're practicing, we're relaxing, that somehow we're going to come into a yoga class and we're just going to relax and take it easy. But no, yoga is real life. Yoga is real life. Yoga is practicing real life. So we are practicing, we are working. Sometimes we will work, sometimes we will relax. And when we're trying to find balance, balance is not a gift that somebody brings to your door and you say thank you and then all of a sudden your life is beautiful. But balance is something we need to look for and create. We need to create it. And in creating it, sometimes it requires some effort. Good. Walk your feet forward, Uttanasana. Now, here, take your feet as wide as your hips. Fold forward. Notice, do your fingertips touch the floor? Mine do, but that's because the back of my body is stretchy. So if yours don't, you can bring your hands up onto blocks or have some books. And then you just little bend in your knees, but you still want to feel a bit of stretch in the back of your leg. The only reason we would come up onto the blocks is because we don't want to hurt the lower back. Okay, we don't want to hurt the lower back. So you want to stick the butt out and feel the stretch on the back of the legs. Now, if you are like me, a little bit more flexible in the back line, then it doesn't mean that your work is over. You might still be out of balance. I have a tendency to lock the knees. So I have to soften my knees and straighten them. And I have to move my hips over my toes a little bit more. So try that. Just notice what that feels like. Bend your knees, lean over your toes, but keep your heels down. And you might even feel like when I do that, all of a sudden I feel more stretch in the back of my legs. And I don't feel it so much in my knees, in the back of my knees. So we shouldn't feel the stretch in the back of our joints. We should feel them in the belly of the muscle, the middle of the muscle. Good. Hands to hips, come all the way up. All right. So again, don't worry about getting everything perfect today. It's really just starting to shine the light of your awareness on the different areas of the body. Start to get a feel of what is really going on in your body. So much we practice yoga and we just kind of listen to what the teacher's saying and we just go. We leave the class, we haven't learned anything. We've just performed an exercise and we haven't learned anything. So use this practice as a way to investigate. Just come oh, okay, this is what my body's doing. Oh, this is what it's doing. Even if you don't understand what that all means, just notice, oh yeah, my knees are locked. Oh yeah, now they're bent. Oh yeah, when I bend them, it feels better. Oh, just these little things. Just become curious and start playing a little bit in the body. So, I would suggest you keep your blocks at the front of your mat. And for those of you who are a little bit more flexible in the back of your legs, just make sure you're not hyperextending your knees. Inhale, stretch your arms up. Exhale and fold forward. Bring your hands to the blocks. Inhale, lengthen your spine, and then step your left foot back into a lunge. The blocks come beside your front foot, and the right foot's more to the right, and your left foot to the left. So feet on separate tracks. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body, remembering your light of awareness that we practiced in lesson 1, in week 1. And exhale, sit deeper in your front thigh. Good. Now, make sure you're not pushing your chest forward or your hips forward. Keep the back thigh lifting up. Keep the right buttock moving down. From here, inhale, start to straighten your legs and fold forward. So now we're stretching the whole back of the body. Can you feel it from the heels all the way up the back of your legs? Even into your back? You're going to feel it more in the back of your front leg, right? And then exhale, bend your front knee and open the front of your body. And here we're going to feel it in the back thigh, the front of your thigh, all the way up into the front of the body. Inhale, straighten your legs and just explore that back of the body. Exhale, front of the body. And here what I mean by feeling is feeling the stretch. Okay? Inhale, stretching the back. Exhale, stretching the front of the body. Inhale, stretching the back of your legs. Exhale, the front. One more. And exhale. Good. Step your left foot forward and your right foot back. Actually, stay in Uttanasana and just feel for a moment. Kind of the front of your legs. Notice the difference. And the difference in the back of the legs. And then step your right foot back. Find your lunge. Lengthen your spine. Find an evenness, front and back. So I'm not pushing my chest forward here. I'm not rounding the back. If you're very new to yoga, you might even work up here with your hands on your knee, or you might have to bring your knee down in the back. Okay, so modify. I know it's not evident, but good. Inhale into the back, lifting your heel in the back. Exhale and press out through both legs. Open your chest. Make sure your front heel stays on the ground. Front heel to the floor, always. Inhale, straightening your legs, rounding your back. Exhale, pressing out from your pelvis, opening the front. Inhale, stretching the back of your legs and the back. Exhale, stretching the front of your legs and the front of the body. Keep going. Good, and coming back to your lunge, step forward and fold. Bring your hands to your hips, inhale and come up. Take your feet together, big toes touching and a space between your heels. Inhale, stretch your arms up and interlace your fingers, palms to the sky, palms up. Notice as you stretch your arms, did the ribs go forward? Did they go back? Try it again. Bend your elbows. Kind of settle in your rib cage. And then notice what happens when you push the palms up. Do the ribs go forward? Often they'll go forward. If I go to the side, you see my ribs go forward if I exaggerate. So what I want to do, if I want to balance front and back, I want to draw the ribs in. And then keeping the ribs in, go to the side, lean to one side. Inhale up. Exhale, lean to the other side. When you lean to the side, did you rotate? Did you turn your belly? Imagine you're between two windows. Inhale, exhale to the side. Let's say, like, imagine you're in a toaster. You know, if you lean, you're gonna burn yourself. Inhale and come back up. Exhale and release your arms. It's a little aggressive though, isn't it? But it kind of works. All right. So inhale, facing the front of your mat. Inhale, lift your arms. Again, watch out for the ribs. Don't pop the ribs forward. Exhale, fold forward. Watch out for your lower back. So little bend in your knees. Inhale, place your hands on your thighs. Lengthen the spine. Lengthen the spine. Is your spine lengthened? Is the front of your body open? Is the back of your body long? Okay, so get the length. You want an L shape here, an L shape. If you were to put a glass of water on your back, would it slide off your bum? Would it slide off your head? So keep the length. Front of the body, open the belly. Is the belly squished? Is it open? Just notice what's happening. And then exhale, come down. Step back, downward dog. Bring the soles of your feet, the feet together, big toes touching. Inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep the front of the body toned. If you let the body go, if you drop your abdominals, you're gonna curve your back. So draw the lower belly in like plank pose, huh? And then open the hip, lift your right leg up. Lift your right leg higher. Look underneath your right arm, And make the back of your body long. So reach your tailbone up towards your heel. So you should feel your spine gets longer. Bring your hip back to center. Bring your right knee forward to your right hand. The shin bone, the front leg bone is on the ground. Same line as your toes. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Here we're going into a back bend. We're opening the front of the body. Engage your legs. Exhale, press out through your legs. Now, bring more awareness, front and back. Draw the lower ribs in. Bring more fullness into the back. Shine the light into the back. Again, creating balance, front, back, and sides. And lower your tailbone. Lower your tailbone. Now, keep your right buttock moving down. Don't let it drop down. It shouldn't be, the hips should be leveled. So keep the right buttock magnetically drawn to the floor and lift your right arm up. Inhale here, and then you're going to side bend. So your shoulder's moving away from your hip. Keep the tailbone long, pointing down. Point the tailbone down. The tailbone is the bottom of your spine, right in your butt crack. Inhale, come back up. Good. Downward facing dog. Feet together. Lift your left leg as you inhale. Lift the leg, but don't let your belly drop. Don't let your chest drop. Keep your arms lifting, your armpits supporting you. The toes in the back point down. And now we turn the pelvis. Lift the left leg higher up, higher up, higher up. Reach long. Press down through your left hand and reach through your left leg. Press down through your right hand and reach through your left leg. Look underneath your left arm. Reach your tailbone between the legs towards your inner heel, the left inner heel. Good. Recenter the pelvis and bring your left knee to the left hand. So the knee in pigeon pose is just slightly outside of the hip, just slightly outside. So it's not in front of your belly button. It's not crossing your midline. It's just outside the left hip. Just outside, not too far. The shin bone and the toes all in one line. For those of you who are used to practicing with the shin bone parallel to the front, today I would suggest that you don't, or at least with me, don't practice that way. Not good for the knee, not good for the hip, for most people. So if you're most people, then it's probably not good for you either. So the shin bone on an angle. If you have knee issues, please do a lunge instead. You can do it with your foot on the floor. I should have mentioned that on the other side. I apologize. Press out through your legs, tailbone long. Bring your ribs in, lower ribs in, and lift up through your chest. So again, in each pose is designed to represent an aspect of life. When we're standing up straight, it's a lot easier to get the front and the back of the body even. When we're in a pose like pigeon, which is more of a back bending pose, it's harder. We have to work a little bit harder to create balance. And that balance will look different than when we're standing up straight, right? So here I have to draw my ribs in. I have to move my tailbone down. And all the while, as I'm doing that, I'm moving the breath into all sides of my body. Keep your right hand down, lift your left arm up, move your left buttock away from your shoulder and lean to your right. And now I'm bringing more breath into my left side, but I'm still trying to keep the opening of my right. I don't want to just fall in my right side. So again, there's some situations that it's going to be more challenging to find balance, but it's still possible. Inhale, come back to center, and take downward dog. Inhale, shift forward into plank. Exhale, down to your belly. Hands underneath the elbows by your lower ribs, so wrists underneath your elbows. Press your feet down. Inhale, curl up into cobra. Notice if you feel a pinch in your lower back. That's a sign that something's out of balance. Exhale, come back down, realign the legs. So stretch your legs back. Move your inner thighs up as you press your toes down. Move your inner thighs up and reach your tailbone towards your heels. Keep your lower back spacious as you curl up, and see if you can curl more in your upper back. Relax in the upper back a little bit. Soften, melt the heart, so that you create an arch in your upper back and not just pinching the lower back. Not pinching at all. No pinching. Come up with an even curve. Tendency here is we're going to curve more in the lower back. So try to bring that curve up into the upper back, as opposed to doing this and just hinging in your lower back. Good. Release. Press onto all fours. And come back onto your heels in Vajrasana. So this time the top of the feet on the floor, heels together, and take a few breaths. Soften the front of your ribs. Try to find that plumb line from the crown of your head down through the center of your pelvis. And then from the center of your pelvis, lengthen back up through the center of the body. And balance everything around it, right? So as I'm lifting, I'm realigning my chin, shoulders. And as we get more skilled with observing the body and realigning the body and feeling where that, what we call optimal alignment is for ourselves, then it gets easier. It's almost natural. You know, we just kind of fall, like we just settle into that position. And that's what happens also in life. The more we practice these practices, the more we apply what we practice on the mat into our daily life in finding balance, the easier it is that when we get into stressful or challenging situations, that we're able to quickly navigate them and find our balance. Good. So come to sitting. Take your feet wide apart. And notice what's happening in your lower back when you do this. First of all, can the legs go wide? Is your back round? Is your back really upright, like mine? Do you feel like you're sticking the butt out? So one thing we want is to be right on top of the sitting bones. So if you rock forward and back, you'll feel the butt bones right underneath you. And you just want to find where's the front, where's the back, and then sit right on top of them. Okay? And then if that's not possible to do that without feeling like you're going to fall backwards, or if your back is round, then sit up on a blanket. So you're going to fold a blanket, and you might need to fold 2 blankets, or maybe take cushions. But whatever you do, make sure that your lower back is not compromised. You're sitting on the sitting bones and your back is upright. Because if the back is not upright, then this whole intention of creating balance in the body kind of goes out the window. So we want to help ourselves here. Or maybe we don't, but hopefully if you're watching, you want to help yourself. So sit up tall, and then move your inner thighs underneath, under. So I'm moving in, I have my hand on my inner thigh, and I'm turning it underneath. And at the same time, I'm moving the flesh of my buttocks out from underneath the sitting bones. Inhale here. And then exhale, lean to your right side. Lean to your right side. And you can reach towards your foot. If your legs are not as open as mine, you can take your hand to the side, to the floor. And you just lean to the side. And you're stretching the side of your body. But at the same time, you're not folding forward and you're not folding back. Inhale here. Now we turn the belly towards the leg. Both hands down. Inhale, lengthen the spine, lift. Make that right side of your body long. Make the right side of your body long and fold both sides of your body over the leg. Walk your hands towards the foot. So now we're lengthening the back, stretching the back muscles. Make sure you don't feel it in the spine, but more in the tissues. Breathe. Keep the tone of your legs. Press your legs down and extend out from your pelvis into your feet, into the four corners of your feet. Inhale and lift up. And come back to center. Second side, lengthen your spine. And exhale, lean to your left. Reach your right arm alongside your ear. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale to fold to your side. So make sure side bend here. Draw the lower belly in. Open the chest. Keep opening the chest. And then inhale, lift a little bit, make space on that so the bottom side tends to get crunched up, so lengthen it out. Turn your belly towards your left leg and fold. Both hands on the side of the leg, so inhale, lift your lower belly, stretch the sides of your body long and fold towards your leg. Keep rooting your sitting bones down. One buttock may get lighter than the other, but keep moving it down so that you're not just uprooting it. Once you find that space in the upper body, engage the muscles of your legs and then press down and out through the feet. Inhale and come back up. And exhale. Release. Cross your left leg in, your right leg in front of your shin. Again, always sitting up, so you want your lower back to be drawing in and up. Now, if you can keep your sitting bones down, you can cross your foot over to the outside of your leg. Now, if you do this and the sitting bones lift up in the final position, then you want to make sure that just bring the foot back in front. So sitting bones on the floor, obligatoire, is obligated here. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale and twist. Right hand behind. Now, lengthen the sides of your body, open the chest, and then turn over your outside of your leg. So left arm to the outside of the leg. Breathe. Now this kind of practice can be overwhelming because there's so much to learn about the body. But even if you just take one thing from the practice, like so far in your practice, what's one thing that you've noticed about your body that you can continue to investigate throughout your week? Take that one thing and just continue investigating that one thing throughout your week, and you'll notice you'll learn so much more about it. So you can twist all the way up, 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 lengthen the spine, keep reaching your spine long up towards the sky, and turning it to the right. Inhale to center, and then change sides. Left leg over right. And if one buttock is lifting here, take your foot in front of your shin instead. So both sitting bones down. Inhale, sides of your body long, lift your chest. I'm arching my back here just to draw the lower back in and up. And then exhale to twist to the left. Once again, sides of the body long. Inhale, reach the right arm up. Create that inner balance, front, back, sides, by inflating not only to the front but also to the back. And then bring your elbow to the outside. If you're all crunched up here, hold the leg with your hand instead of bringing the elbow. Twist. We have a tendency to twist more to one side than the other, so again, just pay attention here to make space as you inhale, ground your sitting bones, and keeping the alignment of your hips parallel to the front. Turn the upper body, spiral up and turn to the turn of your head. Don't stress the twist with your head. Deepen your breath. Inhale, come back to center. Soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana. Inhale, hold your ankles. Lift and lengthen. Open the front of the body because we're going to fold forward and close the front. So we want to create the balance here. Make sure that there's opening. And then hold that opening as long as you can. Folding forward and then slowly coming into folding it over. So we maintain the space as long as possible. And breathe. I like to just rest my elbows on my legs here and let gravity do the rest. Press your feet together. Tone the muscles of your legs. And then from your pelvis, press out through your legs down towards the floor. And then the rest is gravity. Relax your jaw. Relax your eyes. Notice if you're holding tension in areas that just don't need tension, like the jaw. Relax even in your armpits. Inhale and come back up. Knees together. Okay. Stretch your legs out. Sit up tall. Sit up tall in Dandasana. So press, if you're sitting up on something, make sure that your knees are not hyperextending. Good, and then lie down on your back for Shavasana. Move the flesh of your buttocks down to establish length in your lower back. Length and balance. Lift your chin. Relax your legs, relax your arms. Breathe as you rest in Shavasana, letting go of tension. Restoring harmony. And knowing that that harmony is possible because of the work that you did in your practice. The harmony, the balance, the sense of balance, of peace that comes at the end of a practice is not because this is a yoga practice. It's because we work hard during the practice. We work at cultivating that balance so that when we rest in Shavasana, it's so much easier to find. We become it. Relax your whole body deeply and observe the sense of balance that you have cultivated throughout your practice, that you have created, that you have established within yourself. And know that it is within your power to find that balance, to cultivate it once again, to create it once again. Stay longer if you wish in Shavasana. And when you're ready, deepen your breath. Roll to your right side and come up to sitting. It's important, in order to find balance, to first become aware of what we're bringing into balance. The first part of the practice is just to question and become curious. And then we can focus a little bit deeper. But even that being curious, observing, studying, playing with possibilities, observing what is there, just that process is the process of becoming more in balance. It starts the process of returning to our center, returning to ourselves, and recognizing ourselves in the fullness of our own light. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. And lifting your heart towards your thumbs, let's close the practice with one sound of Om. Inhale your breath. Thank you for joining me today. Breathe and be well. Namaste.